What is going on, guys? It's Chris here, and today I'm with Dan,
We're not doing this live!
and today we're going to talk about the crafting system in the Elder Scrolls Online and the 10 things you want to look out for. So, Dan, what's number one?
Crafting.
Yeah, obviously, that's the only topic. So, what? Alright, first off, we'll give our opinions. We'll give my opinion first on what we're looking for in crafting, then we'll actually give out what we know. So, I want crafting to not just be a tedious thing that will make you money. I want it to be something that you enjoy. I want it to be something that will actually benefit you and your friends. And I don't want to be going out farming hours and hours and hours and years and weeks and months to make one bit of item. Okay, now what do you want to see in crafting?
I just want to be making the coolest, personal gear, like custom gear, so like gear no one else is gonna have.
Yeah, is
So
that
like,
right?
this sword is my sword, the sword of banana sandwiches.
Ah, yes. So the crafting system in Elder Scrolls Online is discovery based, isn't it right?
Um,
So it's kind of like you have to discover.
no.
Wait, no, that's what they're saying on the website.
Yeah, but you're saying discovery, like you have to find it.
No,
But
I meant
it's
like you
all
have to mix.
experimental.
Yeah,
It's not like you must walk 12,000 meters that way to be able to make stone axe.
No, I meant like mixing it together. Like you'd put
Yeah, you
I don't
get
know, a
two
soul
basic
shard.
things. So like a shaft, giggity, and like an axe head to make an axe. But then you can add on like two extra ingredients to make so they're additives. So they add the experiment side.
So
So
that be
they
an
make it.
enchanter's kind of job. Or
No, this is when you actually go to make it in the forge or whatever.
okay.
You can add in like up to two other random things, which will add random bonuses. But not only just like two different things, but you could add like different amounts of them. So let's say you're adding like fire drake skin or something like that, so to give you a fire bonus or something. Instead of putting like 5 flakes of it, you could put in like 10, and it might give you more bonus.
Okay, so
But
let's say the more fire flakes that you have, the more it will actually do to that item when you're upgrading it.
yeah, and
Make
they might make it so if you put in like a certain amount, you might ruin it. So it might actually only do this. So it all come like perfecting it and like. But once you make something, so let's say you make a sword with a fire bonus because you added this stuff to it, you will then have that saved down. So kind of like Guild Wars.
Oh, okay. So you will once you've created it, you will learn that recipe again.
Yeah.
So do you reckon there'll be an endless amount of recipes, or do you reckon they'll kind of it'll be like you could make a fire axe, but then you could also make something else that's the exact same but with a different name. Do you reckon that would be the
I
system,
think
or
you could literally, if it's two different slots and there's going to be so many different mats, there'll just be infinite combinations of two different variables with two different amounts of it. So I don't think you'll be able to make. You could try and make the same with someone else, but you could also try to make something that no one else will have. So which I
no?
think is cool.
And the available professions or crafting skills at launch are weaponsmith, armor, alchemist, and enchanter. Isn't that right?
And provisioner, aka cook.
Okay, so cook.
Yeah.
So weaponsmith is obviously creating the weapons. Armorsmith, but I'm guessing an armorsmith isn't just bound to plate gear like we've seen in previous MMOs. Usually you'd have like a leather worker to make leather gear. So do you reckon that an armor will have cloth gear, leather gear, or light, medium, and heavy gear?
Well, I don't see who else could possibly make it, so we're gonna have to just say yes.
Yeah. Now the enchanter, that was very kind of a complicated system in the past Elder Scrolls Online. Do you reckon they'll kind of simplify it to where you can kind of have to, instead of
No.
going killing, do you reckon it'll just still be the same?
I think, well, actually, I don't think they'll go in the way of all soul gems, but I think they won't try and make it very simple because that would make it just
Too easy.
not as fun. I think maybe it might be a combination of soul gems and other things. So, like, you might have soul gems for the power, but you might have other things to add on, like special effects. And I
Yeah.
really think they're just going to make it experimental. And another thing they said is, like in old-fashioned MMOs, you'll go farm a low-level ingredient, and then once you out-level that, you just won't find it useful. They've said that you will never have like an out-leveled thing. You will always be able to use a certain ingredient. So That sounds cool. It sounds like you won't be finding pointless stuff. You won't go, oh, that's the crappy stuff. I don't
Yeah,
need
like,
that.
oh, this guy's got blue cloth. I don't need that. You will be actually saying, oh, this guy's got blue cloth. I could use that to maybe upgrade this 10% better.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So yeah.
how'd you get you read out how'd you get actually how'd you find the crafting materials? Like, do you have to go getting ores, or do you have to
Um,
go
I
picking them?
know there's you can. I presume you can just find things like ores and such in the normal way, but they're also going to be dropping off people. You're going to be finding them in crates. You're going to be things like that. But also, I know that they've said this for weaponsmith and armorer that if you find like a sword, but you've got a better one, the other one's good, you can what's the word, like deconstruct it to regain some of the materials from that.
Okay.
So
So it's
that'll
kind of
be good as well.
you can salvage
Yeah, I'm not
salvage the
sure if
sword.
you'll be able to salvage enchanting items, if you
Oh,
know
but
what
I
I
mean,
mean.
like, if you had a stone axe, you could salvage that and get the flint off of
Yeah,
it and the wood off.
you might get something off it. You might not get the same every time, but
Uh,
yeah.
Crafting points can be distributed between the 5 crafting skills. So I'm guessing you could be leveling up armor. I don't know if I'm saying this right. You could level up armor, but you could still put some points in weaponsmith.
Yeah, they've said, for example, that you could just, for example, he said this isn't what's actually going to happen, but they might say, right, you've got 1,000 points. Obviously, they don't just give them to you. They'll just be you'll be able to level up and get them. But it might take, let's say, like 800 to max something out. So you could go, right, there's 5 skills, I could put 200 in all of them. Or let's say you don't want something cooked, you could put 400 in one and
Okay.
spread 200 out. Or you might want to have 500, 500. So two quite high levels, so weapon and armor, or weapon and enchanter, for example. Or you might want to say, no, I don't want to be just good. I want to be the best. So you might just put 800 in like alchemy and be like, right, I'm going to be making the best potions there is out there.
Yeah.
But
So.
I still want to be able to just upgrade my weapon a bit, so I'll put the other 200 in weaponsmith.
Okay. So that makes it like you can kind of balance it out, so you're not stuck to one profession.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're soloing, because you can solo this game if you want. If you don't really, you're not a very interactive player. You might want to spread them out and just get a bonus from everything. But if you're playing with mates or in a guild, then you might say, right, you can do that, you max out that, you max out this. So then you can all have the benefits from 5 maxed out things.
Okay, okay. And crafting is performed at a special station around the world. We know that already. Blacksmiths use anvil and forge. Alchemy requires alchemist lab, and enchanters use an enchanter's table. They haven't actually said what the cook uses, but I'm guessing you just kind of go to some kitchen.
Maybe an inn, walk into a kitchen or something like that, a restaurant.
Just like, oh, hello, I would like to cook here.
And they might be like, yeah, for the level 800 stuff, you need to go to a Michelin star one. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So points can be up to 800 max, like you were saying.
Well,
Leveling.
no, that's just an example. They don't say that's what it's going to be. He was
Oh, okay.
just saying like a proportion. You might have to use up 80% of your points to max out something,
All
or
right, all right.
something like that. He was just giving guidelines to say that you can max out something and still have stuff left over, or you can spread it out evenly.
Okay, so
Or whatever it is.
another point is during crafting, a primary component and a secondary component are combined. That's basically the flint head and the
Yeah,
handle.
as I said earlier, two key ingredients, and then he said two additives or experimental ingredients, I like to call them. Um, that could always be subject to change. They might have three. You might only have one to start with,
Yeah,
and
I
level
mean
up to
it's still in
more.
beta, guys. We actually don't even know what's happening
No, this
until we
is
get our
just what
stuff.
he said. So,
And
yeah,
racial armors, Dan. The last but not least, racial armors. Now, does this mean we'll be seeing orcish weapons?
yeah, I do like this. If you pick an orc, then you'll only know how to make orc stuff. But along the lines, somehow, he is not specifying how yet, but you'll be able to learn to make like Outmere stuff. So you could actually learn to make Outmere swords or like Elven swords or
Yeah, like the most
things like that.
famous weapon in the Elder Scrolls that I know of is the Elven Dagger. That's the most easiest one to find. You find it everywhere. And
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be cool because they said that, but they also said that not only will you be able to make like orcish armor and stuff, you may be able to get armor and then put another style on it. So like kind of put a twist to a bit of armor. So you might get some really cool helmet off some boss, but you could add that little touch of orcish style to it
Oh, so you could kind of have
afterwards.
the
Yeah,
spikiness that
and
an
he
orc
said
would have.
by the end of it you should be able to
Who makes the
make
glass
all the
armor
armor.
again? Who creates glass armor? Is that just?
I think that's just glass armor. So
I just want to make glass armor. That's the best of armor.
yeah.
So I reckon. Do you know how you were saying that you'll eventually learn, or he was saying that you'll eventually learn the other traits? I reckon if you find, let's say you're an orc and you find an elvish dagger, and you dismantle or salvage it, or take it apart, that would be a
I
way of
don't
kind
think
of
it'll
finding
be
an
that
ingredient.
simple. I think there'll be another side storyline. I think there'll be like you have to like
So for
do
there
all
is
these missions for a certain race.
so there's 9 races, right?
Yeah,
So that means 9 side story quests. No, 8 side story
yeah.
quests because you're
That's
already
what
got.
I reckon. I reckon they'll be like, "Oh, you must learn the ways of the ultimate boy," and then just working your way up, and he'll teach you how to make the basic stuff, and then you'll eventually learn
Yeah,
how
but
to do
then
it.
what if you're an orc and you need to learn Khajiit kind of yeah.
Well, that's what he said. They might make it so you can only learn the ones in your race, and then when you go 50 plus and choose another one, you can go learn the other three while you're there, and then 50 plus plus, you go learn the last three. So,
Okay, that makes a
I
lot
mean,
more sense.
they're loving this whole level 50 is not the top. That's only a third.
Oh yeah, like there's no end. It's like it's not that there's no end game, but the low levels can also contribute majorly into the game itself. Like it's not just where you have to grind to level 50 and then
Yeah,
that's it. You're done. You're level 50. You do nothing. You just sit there.
exactly.
Is there any other points that we need to cover about this? I mean, like we know that crafting.
The one thing crafters will love. They have said this. They have said that crafters will be able to make the best gear in the game. So, if you're not going to go in these like you have to be in a dungeon group and you have to be the best people, the best gear to go kill something to get the next best gear. That's not true. If you
Oh,
can,
so
you'll be able to craft it.
let's say like if me and you are running through the first dungeon and we can't do it, you could say, "Oh, Chris, I'll make this helmet and chest plate for you, seeing as you're tanking." And then I'll say, "Okay, I'll make this mace and it'll give you increased magicas because you're healing." And then I could give you that, and it would be better than the gear that you get in there, but you'd still finish the dungeon.
Yeah, I mean they're saying like at Endgame and things like this, or just during, you crafters will be able to make the best gear. Not only that, let's say you get the best sword or the best helmet that you want, you can then improve that using your crafting skills.
Yes,
So
precisely.
weaponsmith could make a weapon better. But then they've even said not just get the weapon, I don't know, sharper for instance, just a basic way, more damage, an enchanter might be able to then put on it fiery damage. So there's going to be a lot of bonuses. I don't think anyone will be seen wearing the same sort of gear because if you can make gear that's as good as the raid gear, well, raid gear, there's no raids, but
Dungeon gear.
dungeon gear, then you won't see 100 Templars wearing identical gear because that's the best, using identical enchants because they're the best for their style of play.
Yeah, it's like you.
Because I could just go and say, right, I'm the best one. I'm max level crafting. I'm gonna go make a sword, and it's gonna be equally as good as you, but I'm gonna made it, and it's gonna be completely different.
You're going to made it? You mean you make it?
No, because I like to speak in the past because Elder
You're.
Scrolls has already happened.
Oh, now this I've been looking around and I can't find anything, but this is something I'd love to have. Transmog. Do you
Uh,
reckon there would be some sort of transmog, or do you reckon they'll keep it to the style where you just kind of have to?
no, I think they've said that you can add a style to a weapon that you've got. So I think in terms of making it kind of suit each other, I think that's as close you're gonna get.
Okay, okay. So it's the same as World of Warcraft. You can't have a cloth to look like a plate, you know?
No, because I think that would just be like in PvP and things like that. It would be very misleading, and you'd get people rage quitting.
So on to our next topic. They released the trailer Journey to Cold Harbor. This was about Molag Bal, the god of schemes.
Molag Bar.
Molag
I don't
Bal.
know.
He
Yeah.
was he's the Oblivion plane leader of Cold Harbor. That's where you start off in Oblivion, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's where he reigns, in Oblivion, in Cold
And
Harbor.
he's trying to anchor the two worlds together to try take over the place. But he's got
Yeah,
your soul. and you go to travel and find out why. The link to the trailer will be below, guys. Unfortunately, we can't put it on for copyright reasons, but it will be in the link below. First link on the thing. So
Yeah, but well, it's kind of a spoiler alert here, but the whole idea is obviously you're trying to get your soul back after escaping from Cold Harbor. But one thing they did say is that there was a prophecy that the soulless one would beat Mologba. And the whole point is that while you're trying to get your soul, you realize that for some reason your soul is more important than everyone else's, and he's got it locked up in his, well, what looks like a pyramid, which is pretty cool,
yeah, it
surrounded
looks
by
pretty
all these
badass.
forces. So clearly there is something special about you,
Now,
and
do you
that
know how
is
this is
why
the
you're the main
starting
character.
area? Sorry, do you know how this is the starting area? Do you reckon you'll see other players, or will this be a phased instance?
I think this will be one of the first of many phased instance main storylines.
So to where you'll get used to the game, teaching you how to move, jump.
Yeah, exactly. They're just the basics.
And the developer question of the week was, if you could follow a Daedric prince, what would it be? I'd probably go with Molag Bal because he owns Oblivion, and Oblivion was one fucking cool place.
No, you're wrong. He doesn't own Oblivion.
He's in
No, he reigns this little area in Oblivion.
uh,
Oblivion is just the Daedric land. Well,
Daedric land.
we're probably going to get slaughtered by all the people who actually know lore, but from what I know, that's just Cold Harbor's his little territory in
Yeah,
Oblivion.
I
If
mean,
I'm wrong,
you can tell us
feel
below.
free to
Just tell
tell
us
us.
below.
But
But
yeah.
well, that's all we got for this week, guys. Sorry for the short episode. There's not much to talk about, but I hope you did enjoy the crafting information.
Yeah, and leave what you want to see next week, because if we can't find anything,
Oh
we'll
wait,
talk
before
about
we
that
go, we gotta
next week.
answer questions from last week. Right, gotta answer questions from last week. This is really important. I boosted, asked if Elder Scrolls Online had a penis, would you marry it?
No, it wouldn't be very talkative. I need someone to have a conversation with.
And Bale Ballison says, anyway, I'm wondering if one can execute an ability like Sunfire without having a free hand, like you can do it while you're dueling swords, for instance.
Yes, we've already learned this. Casting abilities such as Sunfire will not take up a hand. You will have a weapon, and then you have your spells separately.
That's pretty darn awesome.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure that we have a website up and running, SpartanJestersTV.com. Make sure to go check it out. It has the Elder Scrolls Online news section where you get all the news straight away. The minute it comes out, it goes there. And you can subscribe to it. Like my phone just went off and because I subscribed to it. So we'll see you next week. And Dan, do you want to say anything else?
Nope.
Nope, Chuck Testa. And thank you very much for watching. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye 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 bye.